Alright, welcome back. As I told you, I was going to make a little bit of series here. Where we're at right now, we're in Indiana. We're in Clinton County, Indiana. I'm on what they call Kilmore Creek. It looks a little dark, a little hazy this morning. It's early, it's probably about 8:30 in the morning, but you can see that we're pretty far back in the woods, and the woods is pretty full with vegetation, so the sun will be up here after a bit in the trees. But anyhow, yesterday I had the Keen 3-inch high banker set up. Just doing a little test. I had some new mats I wanted to try out. They were alright, but I wasn't happy with them, so I went back to the Hungarian riffles, the carpet, and the miner's moss. I get a lot more black sand that way, but I have a boot bowl, so I can go ahead and work it. It's still going to be functional. Now you can see these this little hole that I got here, and if you'll see what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this little bench up. I'm come out. I've got about here, and I want to take about as much as about this wide. I'm looking just for the pay streak is what I'm trying to get, and I know right where it sets because of testing and years of digging here as well. Like I said, this is a family plot, so I've been back here quite often. But anyway, like I was saying, I wanted to get things rolling and let you see a little bit of this morning, and wanted to say good morning and day one of the big adventure here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set the Keen 3-inch high banker up. Here after a bit, you might see my cousin be down here helping me. Later on, you might see both my brothers down here helping me. They're going to plan on coming down, so that's going to be an interesting having them both on video. So, but anyway, like I said, we'll be right back here in a second and get everything set up and let you see how she's running. She's running pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it, so hang out. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back here. I wanted to show you a little something. Number one, you'll notice I got a wetsuit on. I know right now it's in the high 80s, sometimes the low 80s right now in Indiana. The water is not really cold. Like I said, it's right now 7 in the morning. I'm sitting here already in the water. But I always got to warn people. I see a lot of people doing it without a wetsuit or any type of covering like that. Even though the water feels cool, when the air is warm, always remember that your body core temperature can fall. So if somebody's dredging like that, if you're around, always keep an eye on them. For newbies out there, I always suggest get a little bit of wetsuit. This is actually a 6mm. I like it because in the wintertime it's still effective as it is in the summer, and when I'm in the water I don't burn up in the summer as long as I stay in the water. But anyway, to get back to where I was at, this is my hole that I started yesterday. Like I said, I showed you I wanted to run a pay streak this way. The thing is you'll notice these rocks. These rocks are, number one, bigger than 3 inches. I've actually closed down my nozzle a little bit because I don't want anything bigger than about 2 inches getting into that way, because I'm sitting here by myself. This way, when I close down my nozzle, I still get the same amount of dirt going through it, but I don't get the size rock, so I don't have to worry about clogs in my hose, clogs in my nozzle. I do get them every now and then, but that's just when I'm hogging something. When you're dredging like this and you're by yourself, the best way that I found to do this is as you're going, like right now, I got to clean out. I got a lot of rocks I got to clean out from yesterday. Because I didn't clean out, I just pretty much just sucked the sand off of it. But if you get down where your rocks are out, you get them all out of your hole, lay your nozzle down and let the dirt come to you. When the dirt's coming to you, the rocks will fall out, and it gives you a chance to grab them and just toss them out without you having to horn the nozzle. Let the machine do the work. Don't work yourself. Work smart, not hard, so to speak. But like I said, you set the nozzle down, let the dirt come to you and take it away. It runs enough aggregates through the day. I think I put probably 2 gallons of gas through that yesterday and ran 6 hours just for a test to see what my mats are. But like I said, I went back to the Hungarian riffles and the miner's moss and the straight carpet. A lot more black sand, but I do have a blue bowl, so I can work it. Like I said, I just want to show you this is the type of flood bar in Indiana. It's going to have anywhere from 2 to 7 inch rocks. You'll see a good flood bar will. If you see something that's got like a lot of fine sands on it, sediments, that's probably not going to be as good. This right here, these rocks has been here for a long time. I'm not for sure how deep this is, but in Indiana, it's pretty deep to get to bedrock. You'll hit a clay layer or a silt layer before you get to the bedrock, so there's no use going all the way down. If I can get this hole another 1.5 feet deep to 2 foot deep where I can sit down in the hole, like I said, put the nozzle up there, the dirt will come to me and the rocks will drop right in my hand, and you work comfortable. But anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit of what I was talking about. Plenty of quartz, plenty of flint. It seems like it's going to be a good day, so I'll come back later and show you a little bit of the machine running. I don't like to show a lot of the machines running on my videos just because it's, everybody, you know, if you've seen a machine run, you've seen a machine run, so why watch it? But I will show you a little bit of how I work it, about the nozzle. The sun gets overhead a little bit. This water, it was muddy 2 days ago. Today it's clear as a bell. It doesn't take long for Indiana water to clear up after a rain, so when the sun's shining down on this, you'll be able to see right down in it, and I can show you a little bit more of what I'm talking about, working the nozzle and letting it fall into your hands, and like I said, not working hard, just working smart. Anyway, we'll be back here in a little bit, and we'll get the show on the road, so to speak. Hang around. Alright, well, as you can see, I've actually moved from the spot that I was at, and you can probably tell by the growth on my hair that I haven't shot in about 2 weeks. I've had a lot of things going wrong, setting up my mats, setting up the right pitch, making sure I wasn't losing gold. Tested from down where you've seen at the first of this video, down where you've seen it, I'm down about halfway through the creek now. I've hit a lot of shoals. The problem seeing the being, it's hard to find the gold right now. It seems that the floods of last year have moved everything and switched it around, and now I'm kind of boggled, so to speak. I did testing on the fast sides, the slow benches. So far what I'm doing now, as you can see up in here, I got a couple big rocks that I'm going to be behind, and I'm also going over along this weed line. The water goes kind of hard on the outside, so I'm going to try to play the, I tested this inside here. I ran for about 40 minutes, come out with a little bit in the pan, a little bit more than what I was doing predominantly down or up the creek. So this seems to be, like I said, the fast side comes around, the water seems to be a little slower in here, plus there's rocks to catch it. I'm just trying to follow how this creek's going, because like I said, in the past few years, it's changed a bunch since me and Lisa 24 karat Craigel's down here. We got, like I said, about 4.6 grams in about 4 days, and then we got flooded out because we come early in the year. Since I've come back, I've tried where we were digging at last time. Last time we were here, it was deep enough I could go arm straight in with a mask on. Now I get down about this, and I'm down on clay. So obviously there's been a lot of stuff that's washed out of here. A lot of things has changed by it, but I'm still giving it the workings and still showing it how to, still getting it done. Making sure my mats are set up and everything like that inside the box. I am using the Gold Hog mats. I've got them situated a certain way. What I did is actually took one of the mats that you actually get them in 3-foot strips. So I cut one mat and I got it underneath the crash box. I've got no carpet, nothing, except for corrugated metal that goes over at least 6 of my riffles. Because I don't want any rocks in there, I just want sand. It's nothing but fine gold in here, so I don't want any kind of rocks getting behind the riffles. So I have where the riffles will blow themselves out, the sand will go down on the riffles, and then the undertow, since the riffles are about maybe a 1/4 inch off of the bottom, will undertow the sand up and then work it over the other 2 Gold Hog mats that I have. And so far, it seems to be working rather well. I've been testing my tailings, haven't found any gold since I've got this set up like this, since I took the carpet all the way down to the bottom and let the box pretty much just flush itself out and go over the other 2 mats. It seems to be, like I said, it's working rather well. We're finding a little bit more gold than what I was just running the riffles by itself and the carpet. I'm just really surprised. Like I said, the Gold Hog mats are working really good. The Keen high banker 3-inch dredge combo I got with a Honda engine, I got it from A&B Prospecting out of Mesa, Arizona. If you guys are ever in Arizona prospecting, you want to find a store, go down and see them. They're in Mesa. It's not hard to find. They're right on Main Street. A&B Prospecting. You got to go check him out. He's got, if he doesn't have it, they probably don't make it. He's got an all-around store. I'm really happy with it. Does real good. He works with you. Does real good deals. Keeps it honest, and that's the way I like to use that. But the setup that he gave me, and I told him exactly what I was doing, and we worked it out to where I actually come out. I think I was going to get a dredge, but I went with a high banker, and I think I come out ahead. But like I said, I could also use it as a high banker if I have some people come down. I've had family come down and help me through the last 2 weeks I've been here, but unfortunately, I haven't had time to set the camera up. Like I said, there's been a lot of things going on. We've been moving, we've been setting back up, moving, setting back up, And like I said, so far in these riffles right here, I found the most predominant gold that I found, which is not very much, but it's making a better showing. Like I said, I'm kind of disappointed. I had a lot going on this trip right here, but the good thing is when I get back, I do have the claims that you usually see me work on. I'm going to go back there, and I'm going to be doing some serious high banking. Like I said, I got to get my guys back to gold. That's what they want. That's what they need, and that's my word. That's what I'm going to stick to. I'm going to make sure that they get their gold because that's what I promised them. But like I said, I'm going to work here a little bit more. Come back a little, and maybe show you a little bit how the gold hog works. Mats are working here in the box, and show you. As a matter of fact, let me move that camera just over here a little bit. I don't know if you can see down in the box here or not. Might have to just go ahead and pick it up and move around here if you would, please. Okay, get a close up down here on this box real quick. I got my camera girl with me today, by the way. Just set it down on the tripod and just point it down.
Oh.
There you go. All right. Now what I was talking to you about is, if you can see in here, I do have the, I got the 8-inch quarter punch plate, which I can take that out like that. But what I've did is I left, like I said, I've left my carpet completely off of here. I want the water to actually go past this first riffle, and I got a piece of the gold hog here up here underneath the crash plate, where the water comes out the fastest. I got it in the back, and like I said, I've got the corrugated metal going over my riffles, and as you can see, I don't have any carpet in these riffles, and there's about a 1/4 inch gap underneath the riffles. And then when I got underneath here is I have, actually I can take these out and show you. I have the carpet starting right here in this riffle with the miner's moss. This is just for a safety in case anything gets past the mats, which like I said, these things are designed, man, for the gold I'm finding. It's really fine, plus a lot of micro gold. So these mats, I can't say these are the UV mats, I think is what the gold hog calls them, but they're for fine gold, but they really, I mean, they really are catching the fine gold. And like I said, I've custom cut them so one of them fits down in my riffles like so. Puts a nice lip up here in the front so it makes it pretty tight. Put my corrugated metal down. Like I said, I just want the big rocks to rush by. Come in here with the second piece. It does have a little locking system on it, so that's a little advantage for me, so I know I got it right. Push that up, and like I said, any kind of gold that goes over this mat, I don't care if it's a 1/4 inch or 100 below 100 mesh, it's going to get caught in this mat. Now anything bigger, which I'm in Clinton County, Indiana, and I've been here, I've dug here enough to know, like I said, if you find a wheat germ nugget, you're really finding something big. I know over on Sugar Creek they find some chunkier golds. Over towards Crawfordsville they find chunkier golds too, but that's, like I said, the glacier pushes is what's put that here. But anyway, this is what I got the mats, this is the box that I got set up. This is strictly a fine gold setup. It is not for nuggets. So if you're thinking of doing anything crazy like this in California, anywhere that you can find a piece of gold as big as your fingernail, don't attempt it, because you're going to lose it. This thing, what it does, like I said, it puts everything across this, makes it come through here, and makes it come over this gold hog mat. Reason why is because the water works fast. I've got this, if you see this tilt that I've got on this box, this angle is probably about, if you were looking at a sluice box, I'd be about 3 inches too much on the drop. And the only reason why I do that is because, like you said, if the water's not running fast enough to clean these out, then they're not really working. So I have the water working at about medium strength on my engine. I've got the box at a higher tilt, which keeps the water about 1 inch high going over these gold hog mats, but it also has enough flow to make these little grooves in here work. And if you ever want to see anything a little bit different, you go to the Gold Hog website. He's got videos out there, explains a lot of stuff about it, and explains the options that you need for your dredge, for your high banker, for your sluice. But like I said, these are made for fast operations. He's worked these mats in bigger operations, like, you know, the bulldozers and the grizzlies and stuff like that. And there's a video on it, shows them. They're really surprised what's left in this mat. But like I said, I'm really happy with it, because what I am finding out of it is 100 mesh or smaller. We haven't found any. I think the biggest flake I found was probably, I'd say, a little bit smaller than a pencil eraser, I would say. But nothing fabulous yet to show you. Nothing like you see me in Arizona. But like I said, we come out here, It was a chance I was wanting to take, and I had some people that believe in me, but the only reason why I did this is because I do know I got a backup plan when I get back to Arizona to keep our plan going. Like I said, without the equipment, I'm not digging gold, and when I'm not digging gold, I'm not happy, so hey, you got to keep things going, you got to keep it fresh. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to get to work here in a minute. I might come back, might shoot a little bit more, just to let you see how the water is running over this, how fast the flow really is. And most people, like I've had my brothers come down, and they're just starting to watch like Gold Fever and the Gold Rush and stuff like that. They're kind of getting into it because they know their brother's kind of, you know, doing gold. So, but they're like, oh, you need to slow it down and stuff like that. So I've taught them about these mats and what it needs. But like I said, I do have this 1, 2, 3, and 4. I got the 4 extra riffles that's actually a little closed down. I just got this for safety. This right here, it hasn't been losing anything. I haven't found anything in this miner's moss anyway, but like I said, always have a safety trap. I don't use a safety pin like I said last time, because if it goes back in the water, hey, it's something for somebody else to find. But if I can catch it before it gets out of the water, then that's a good thing. But like I said, I'm going to run, work a little bit more, bring it back. I hope this has been informative. Like I said, when I'll show you next time, I'll show you how it's running. And we'll get it set up and get it running. So, hang in. Okay, as you can hear, I got the Honda motor. It's not set too far away from me, but you can tell it's not really running wide open. I don't want a lot of water. Like I said, I want about 1 inch of water on top of these mats. You can see how fast the flow is going across here. Punch plate, a piece of rib matting, corrugated metal, because I want all my big rocks to wash off. 2 pieces of the UV mat from the gold hole, and then I've got my miner's moss. Stay right there, keep your eyes on the box. I'm going to show you what the stuff looks like going through, so keep your eye on the box. I don't need big rocks. I don't want to pan big rocks. It's all fine gold. So I have it set up, and like you see, the sand gets caught up a little bit in the first ripple, but it works its way through on the bottom because the ripples are up. Gives a little water push, comes to this next one, and actually forces itself up into this right here, which is the 2 mats. And as you can see, they're working rather well. They caught some blonde sand, but they're cleaning themselves out real quick. Grease is, pitch, makes force for water, fast for these mats. I'm not after anything, fine gold. The secondaries, like I said, my safety traps, they look there. The water's actually running fast enough. They don't catch anything but black sand. I'm starting to really like the faster water method. I notice when I slope it up a little bit like that, I just have a complete ton, and I mean a ton of black sand. The gold pan, when I clean out, is super heavy. So I'm glad with this fast water, it's keeping everything fine, it keeps everything cleaned out. It gives me just a little bit of black sand, a little bit of river garnet, and a whole lot of the gold. All the gold stays in here. Like I said, when I get back to Arizona, I'll be using this same setup, because when I go back there, I'm going to be where I'm at. And we know back there, I did my homework, it's fine gold as well. So you're really going to see, I hope when I get back to Arizona, I hope these mats look like this right here, but I hope it's gold instead of white sand. But anyway, I just wanted to show you the setup. I'll get back to you a little bit later. If I've got anything else to explain to you. Other than that, we're going to get to work.
Hi. I am panning out our concentrates that we already sent through the blue bowl. And since I'm a novice at panning, this is a great way for me to get some practice in when I know I won't lose much gold because we already went through them. So I'm just sitting here taking my time, and taking a very long time to pan actually, but I'm getting it down to the black sands, and I'm actually seeing some little flecks of gold in what I'm finding, so I know that I'm actually kind of getting the hang of it. So I just shake it up quite often to try to drive the black sands down to the bottom and the gold that would be in it.
Make sure when you shake, you put a little bit more water in your pan, okay?
Alright. And then I get the top layers off, the light blonde stuff. You can see the dark sands are starting to show here. So when I see that, then I shake it up some more. And I use the riffles. I know some people pan without riffles, but because I'm new at this, I definitely use them and let the black sand settle in the riffles so that I don't lose anything that I might otherwise. But you can see the blondes are coming off, and then the black sand's kind of revealed. And if I leave something up here in the pan when I'm first doing it, I don't stress about it. It's not an exact science here. So I know I'll catch it on the next run. So I just kind of bring off the light material again, and I try to let the water do the work. So bringing it back and forth, back and forth. You see the black's starting to come up here again. So that's when I kind of do this again. And I know people who pan a lot would probably get a lot more off at these passes, but...
And what do they call that when we shake it up?
Stratify.
Stratify. Unlike me, I say stratify, it's stratify.
So I am sitting in the middle of the stream having a wonderful time, taking my time while he goes and does his thing, and I'm learning how to get the gold out.
And what's fundamental about this is, number one, it's a GPAA pan, so it does have the 3 ridges in it. But for anybody that's learning how to pan, letting them go through your concentrates after you've ran it through a blue bowl or after you pan them, gives them a little experience to know, how heavy the blondes are, how heavy the black sands are, how heavy the gold and the ruby garnets are, and gives them a really good concept of just what's going to stay in the pan. Plus, when they find a little bit of gold in it, what is it?
Very exciting. It is. I have to show him, then I get it down to where, and then I can see some flecks, and oh, look what I found, look what I found. It is a treasure hunt, and when you find some treasure, it's all worth it. It's a really fun way to spend your off time. And so, like I said, I haven't been doing this that long, but each time I go out, I learn something new, and I get a little bit better at things, and I learn what equipment to bring, and I just got these waders, which was a wonderful investment if you're going to be working in the middle of a creek and sitting in it like I am.
You're always learning something new, aren't you?
I am.
That makes you a pro, right?
That's right.
You're not a professional. Like I said, folks, a professional and a pro, there's 2 different things. A professional is somebody that knows it all. A pro is smart enough to know he learns something new every day. Or she, in this case.
Although I wouldn't quite classify myself as a pro.
You're doing a good job.
A novice that is learning and learning. So I can see it's already getting down to where everything's looking much more black, and the blonde sands have been washing off. There's still a fair amount in here, is what I found out. The riffles actually hold a lot of material, and so it's good to just keep going and take your time. That is one of the things I learned, is you just got to find a comfortable place to sit, so you're not all stressed out and being a girl. I got girly arms, and so when I'm bent over like this and trying to move a heavy pan full of black sand, I get tired real fast.
It's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And so when I could sit like this, I know most people don't sit in the middle of the stream, but for me it works. And then I just take my time, and then I just let it flow off. And as it gets a little bit more black and concentrates start to get down, down, down,
Keep what's left.
then shake it up a little more, and the blonde rises to the top again. And I get rid of that part.
Like I said, for the kids, for the wives, it's like if you're running a dredge with a high banker, usually they're doing something else. This right here gives them something to do while you're doing your work. And like I said, it's just an educational process. So you keep panning, and we're going to go back to work.
Get back to work.
Yeah, we'll get back to work. And then, like I said, we'll be back after bed. Like I said, we'll do the cleanup later on. So stay in, stay with us. All right, well, like I promised you, I'm going to do a little clean out real quick. I'm going to show you, like I said, the basic setup that I got in here is for fine gold. I'm going to show you why I like it and how fast it is to actually clean out. So, get my bucket here. Here, first thing I want to do is grab the top part out that I have underneath the crash plates. Get that out. We'll take these out first just because they're above the riffles. Clean those out. Like I said, these mats for those little grooves, they do hold a heck of a lot of fine gold. Alright. Now if you can see right in there, you see how this miner's mat is clean? It's because the water was going over the mats like I wanted it to. And my top mat under the crash plate here. Little piece of buckshot, so I know it's working, doing a good job. The lead's staying, the gold's got to be staying. Like I said, this is probably about 4 hours. 2 hours yesterday when I was filming, and probably about 2 hours this morning. I'm going to just try to do it, clean up just to see if I'm on any bigger size gold, because I did move a little bit over to the left side of the creek, the slow side. I'm trying to find that pay streak so I can stay on it. And I always want to soak the bottom of this carpet just because it's in there. Get all the extras out in my pan. Alright. Come right back for the reset here. Get my pan out of here. Like I said, I'm only using about half my carpet because I don't want it quite all the way to the top. Just want to catch when it's going to catch that one riffle. It's where I like it. Like I said, miner's moss. I just have this in here for a just for a safety. Put this back underneath my riffles up here at the top of my crash box. I want it under the first one. I want it more or less under the second one, but like so. Get to where it's nice and straight across. Alright, then I'll carpet. We'll bring it right back down. Like I said, pull it down. I want that carpet to fold right up underneath the riffle defender. That way it makes a nice tight lip. It doesn't let anything get underneath it. Like I said, these things will have a gap about 1/4 of an inch underneath the riffles that I don't have any carpet on. And the reason why I did that, like I said, I'm trying to catch fine gold. In my opinion, it gives it a double working action because it not only goes over the top of the riffles, could get caught in the first mat, but if it does miss, it has enough time to settle down and it has enough time to work underneath the riffles to go up on top. So it's not flooding it all at once. I've got sand will be going over the top when the bottom riffles get full, but when I'm sitting there and pulling rocks and I have a little time and the water's running free and fast, it's also working. It's working a second trap, so to speak. So it's like a 2-for-1 action, in my opinion. That's why I got it set up like this. Plus, I don't want any big rocks or anything like that. Looks like a big crawdad. And like I said, I got one of these mats are specially cut, so they can go right underneath that lip and make a tight little seal. That way everything that comes over it will get caught. Locking system goes back in, like so. And like I said, this is just one version. This is just a way that I come up with because I read what the mats are for, how they're designed. So this is just something that I come up with specifically for fine gold. And mats go back in like so. Pinch them up tight because of the locking system on it. Alright. Let's see, crash box goes in. I always put the crash box in so I know exactly where to stick my corrugated metal at. There's that, and I want the metal to be more or less, if I can do it, I'm going to do it now, but I'll put it underneath this wood back and see if it'll set down. Kind of want it to set down a little bit better than this, but there we go. And like I said, that should have everything go across the plate, come across here. Anything bigger will roll straight across, everything gets caught in here. If anything does miss, I catch it in the back. But let's get down to the brass tacks, shall we? This is the stuff out of the box itself, so I'm going to pan that down real quick just to get that out of the way. I don't need all the big rocks, like I said. I try to keep the fine stuff. Now, if you look inside that bucket there, there's not even a quarter bucket in there. So, like I said, that's one thing that I like about this. It just keeps more or less what you're needing. Like I said, it's been about 4 hours. So I really want to see where if I went out of the gold, if I stayed on the gold, if I'm finding bigger gold. And once again, this pan's about 25 pounds, it feels like. It's just really loaded with black sands. I've found quite a few big pieces of ruby garnet though too, believe it or not. I was finding some little pieces and got into a section of rock. It was kind of grayish. It was all the same kind of rock, so it has to do with weight. Because I'll find black rock, gray rock, and then your granite pieces on the outside of this little flood bar. So I'm trying to stay with the gray rocks. It seems like that's where the same density where gold's falling off as these gray rocks are falling off. So I'm trying to stay with them. So I'm not for sure what kind of gray rocks they are. They almost look a cross between a petrified clay almost. Like I said, I'm just trying to stay right up this line right here behind me. Because it's not quite the slow area, but it's not the fast area, and it's not quite in the middle. It's kind of it's a real fine line. Black sands, black sand. Like I said, once you see a little piece of gold making its way to the front, you stop it and bring it back and shake it. Like I said, I've been doing this enough. I got my little eye trained. Which I'm not saying I'm perfect, because hey, nobody's perfect. Let's get the rocks out of here now. Got a lot of heavies. A lot of heavies. Sure does take a little while to pan when you got black sands and pieces of iron shot and lead shot and big rocks and fence and good Lord, sinkers, Fuller gold nuggets, fishing lure. Still love that. It was funny. It's alright. I like it. Got sand in my nose now. Great. Now, I did see one flake in there, but there's all the other ones is what I'm looking for here. Let's see, just too much iron. Let me see here real quick if I can't get you a little showing going. Like I said, there's plenty of irons, magnetite. Folks, I might have ran out of gold. You never know. Well, there's a little piece right there. Trying to keep it all up here to the top for you to see. Of course, like I said, I got 20 pieces of birdshot in here at least. Gotta get through that. Okay, well. Boy, oh boy. This is not what I call good. Alright, anyway. Obviously, I got into a couple bigger pieces. You can see 1, 2, 3. And there's probably about maybe 16 fine flakes sitting there. That's not good. Like I said, I come back here. I come back from Arizona. 2 years ago we were digging here and I was finding some good gold. Like I said, a couple grams. 4.6 grams to be exact, in about 3.5 to 4 days. And since we've had a couple floods, it's really, I'm really disappointed. But like I said, this is just the starting of my little crusade in the video. This is me in Clinton County. I will be doing another video back in Arizona. Like I said, I've got a backup plan. I've got people I got to take care of, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to conclude this video in Arizona. So if you see a climate change real quick, we go to green trees to green cactus, you'll know that we switched. But anyway, sorry it wasn't more of a showing. I know the mats are doing its job. We've tested the tailing several times. I'm still not finding any gold in the tailing pile whatsoever. It's just hit or miss, patches in here, and well, I've done more missing than I have hidden. But that's prospecting. So anyway, till next time, this is Swiftwater. I might be coming back on and filming later. You never can tell, but only if I find something really excellent. But like I said, until next time, thanks for watching. This is Swiftwater, and I'm out of here, and I'll catch you in Arizona next time.